Hi, today I want to share with you a beautiful story. The origins of this story, I found out after a little bit of research, actually come from the Manataka tribe, which is a North American Indian tribe found, or maybe still residing, I do not know that part, in the Manataka Mountains in Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is another place of beauty and great mystery. And it's really wonderful when you hear of the stories from the elders and the indigenous peoples and their background. They're absolutely, the wisdom that is included in their stories is something to behold and to be listened to and passed on. But the story I want to share with you today is called A Song of Life. And tradition passed down by the elders of the Manataka tribe do so in the form of a story. And rather than just give you a summary of the story and the gist of it, that I think it takes away from the beauty of it. And I'd like to share with you today the story as it excuse me, as it's told in the Manataka tribe, from generation to generation in honor of their tradition. I would like to repeat it to you today as the story is told to each other. Okay? It is said by the elders that every person has a song of life. This is a story about a long forgotten custom among our people that begs to be revived. As the story goes, Nokwisa was a young and beautiful Indian woman who was married during a fall gathering of the nations by the waters of Nawasalan at the sacred mountains of Manataka. After returning to her homelands, winter came and passed as Nokwisi happily informed grandmother Winolta and other women of the tribe that she was heavy with her first child. The women and everyone in the tribe were very joyous, and they began to make gifts and other preparations for the baby. Grandmother Winolta announced one day that it was time for the women to go into the forest to find a song. The next morning, the women gathered at the edge of the village and began a journey deep into the wilderness. And as they arrived at a stream near a waterfall, this is where they made camp and a sacred circle in the clearing. The women then prepared special foods and placed them in the baskets around the circle. And then grandmother called the shy Nokwisi to come forward and sit in the middle of the circle. The women gathered around as grandmother announced the purpose of their meeting. We gather here to learn the song of life for the baby inside Nokwisi. We shall pray to the great mystery, the creator of all things, and listen carefully to Mother Earth to learn the song. We know every soul has a special vibration that knows its purpose and bears the unique character of its ancestors. Let us begin. And as everyone's eyes were closed, deep in meditation and prayer, a small brown chipmunk sitting on a nearby stump smelled the food and slowly crept to one of the baskets near the grandmother. Nervously looking from side to side, the little chipmunk carefully slid into the basket and began to eat to his heart's content. Nokwisi saw the little chipmunk climb into the basket, but was afraid to say anything during the prayer ceremony. After many hours of prayer and silent visions, a strong wind began to blow across the camp. The women became attuned to the unique vibrations and the light surrounding Nokwisi. Grandmother Winolta then called for Nokwisi to stand and hear the baby's song of life. The women began to loudly sing in one voice, one song of life for the unborn baby. As Nokwisi stood in the middle of the sacred circle, she could feel the song of life coming into her, giving strength and joy to both her and her unborn child. Loud voices outside the basket had startled the sleepy little brown chipmunk, and he was afraid to move. He decided he must escape before he was discovered, but it was too late because grandmother had reached into the basket as she announced that it was time for everyone to eat. Grabbing a small round ball of fur, Grandmother exclaimed, "Aho! What do we have here? It looks like we have a little thief in our basket." And with a smile she placed her hand to the ground and let the little chipmunk scamper away. Now during the course of many weeks to follow, Nikwisi quietly sat alone in her lodge or walked in the forest as she sang the song of life to her unborn child. Many weeks later, when Nikwisi's baby was born, the entire community gathered around and sang the song of life to the new baby boy to welcome him. At the time of the full moon, the entire village again gathered to sing the baby's song of life during his naming ceremony. The boy was named, now I have to apologize here because I don't have the native tongue to pronounce it, Uwetsi Genovzg, which interpreted means wind song. But not surprisingly, the boy was also given another name, which was Giyuga Usti, which means little chipmunk. Years later, the boy grew, and after successfully completing his first hunting trip, the tribe again gathered in the circle around Little Chipmunk and chanted his song of life. After he passed all the necessary requirements to enter adulthood, the people once again gathered to sing his song of life. At the time of his marriage, Little Chipmunk heard his wind song, his song of life sung during ceremonies, and finally, when his soul was about to pass from this world, all the people gathered around his bed to sing his song of life and say goodbye. Each one of us has our own song. It's a beautiful vibration within us that's a reminder of our eternal purpose. And those we love must sing that song to us throughout our lives. We all yearn to be loved, acknowledged, and accepted for the person that we are. There is also another event that when the tribe gathers to sing the song of life to an individual. It's whenever a crime or a serious antisocial offense is committed, the person is called to the center of the circle and expected to admit to the transgression. Then, once this happens, the village sings their song of life to the child within the person. So in this way, bad behavior was corrected by reminding the individual of who the real self is in the eyes of our Creator. After the song of life is sung by one's family, friends, and neighbors, there is no desire to do anything to disrupt the wonderful blessing given by the song. Our people did not have jails, prisons, insane asylums because there was no need. Punishment was the extension of love in remembrance of the true identity within the person. A friend and those who love you know your song and sing it when you have forgotten its vibration. People who love you don't care about the dark and ugly things you sometimes become. They hear the beauty of your song. They remember your light and know the sweetness within you. And that is true forgiveness. If your mother was not given a special song of life before your birth, then you must begin to search for it now. Don't wait for the milestones of life to pass without this special recognition. Walking the good road means knowing your song. You can no longer be confused, lost, alone, and depressed. You must give your song of life a strong voice. When you know your song of life, you have two obligations. The first, to find the people who have a similar song, similar vibrations, and you sing it to each other. The second is to pass this wonderful custom down to the next generation. And in this way, we support our brothers and sisters in their walk, and we provide future generations with peace and happiness. Aho! So, in closing, I just wanted to say that this is a wonderful comparison to how it is with entrepreneurs and those of us who have attracted each other in the Empower Network. They say like-minded people attract like-minded people. Well, we are like-minded people, knowing that we're different and that we don't conform to the everyday confines of a job, and that we know that freedom is freedom of choice. So I just wanted to share that with you, the analogy, because how we share our song with one another is we do it through encouragement, going to events and becoming part of that huge vibration of love and sharing and knowledge and wisdom that's passed. We do it through webinars and hangouts and social interactions. So I'd just like to say thank you and goodbye.